Hey guys, this is Chris from Geek on Tech. Today, the 15.4 iOS update just came out, which means you can unlock your phone with the mask now, with your mask on. Plus, Samsung just dropped a new phone. Let's jump right into it. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. First off, happy St. Patrick's Day. Don't pinch me, I forgot to wear green. But this mask, let me just take this off, just so you guys know, the two things that I really saw today in the news and the media when it came to technology, two big things. Number one, iOS 15.4 just came out, so you can now unlock your phone with your mask. And it's actually really easy to do. Right when you update, it's going to ask you if you want to enable that. It'll have you rescan your face one more time without your mask, and you can lock your phone and unlock it with your mask on now, which I think is pretty cool. It's convenient. You don't have to do one of these and then put it back up. But that is now in your phone. That's a feature that you can have if you wear your mask still. In addition to that, they did launch some new emojis, which I think are pretty cool. They launched some new emojis that look like Shrek or something like that. I got this from 9to5 Google. They dropped the whole article on this. In addition to that, they launched something new that basically allows the system to work with Apple Pay and to basically make this a contactless payment reader. Now, what that means is that basically means you don't need the little thing on the bottom to insert anymore to swipe a credit card. You could just enable your NFC on your phone. Somebody can, tap on this and pay you for a service, whether it's a barber, which I need to go visit my barber, or anything like that. So they've enabled the feature. Now we're just waiting for app developers to get that feature and implement it into their payment systems. There's a new Siri Voice, which is kind of silly. And those are the main updates for iOS 15.4. Now, it's not going to natively ask you to install the new update until a few days after, for whatever reason. At least it didn't for me. What I had to do is I had to go into the software, general about, and I had to manually request the update, even though it said that there was no update. So I had to manually request it. That's how I updated my phone, and that's iOS 15.4. No bugs yet, but I did just update it earlier today, so something to keep in mind. Alright guys, so next, big news. Samsung just dropped two different things. First off, they dropped new colorways on the Buds 2 and on the Galaxy Buds Live. So if you haven't seen them, go take a look at them. They're like a black color. In addition to that, they also launched a promotion with their new phone that they launched, the A53 5G. And it's a mid-range phone. The full price on this is $449. And let me just run the specs by you here real quick. Or actually, before that, the promo that they have going on right now is you can get the Buds Live for free if you pre-order. Phone launches March 31st, so you'll get it March 31st. Now, listen to the specs that's on here, and we'll chat about this here in a little bit because this is kind of irking me a little bit. So display size 6.5 inches. So remember, this is like an S21 FE or S20 FE, same size screen at least. It's got 120 Hz refresh rate, which is great. I love that. It's an 85.4% screen to body ratio, which is again not bad. It's a completely flat display, Corning Gorilla Glass 5, 1080p resolution. It's got 128 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, 8 gigs of RAM. It looks like it is non-expandable. It's got 4 cameras. 64 megapixel main camera sensor, 12 megapixel ultra wide. It has a 5 megapixel macro, and it has a 5 megapixel for depth field for the like bokeh shots. It can record in 1080p 60 frames per second, 4K at 30 frames. Selfie cameras at 32 megapixel. It's got dual stereo speakers, which is nice. 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 25 watt charging, fast charging enabled as well too. Now, if you pay attention to those specs on paper, it's amazing. Now, the CPU in it is a 1200 Exynos, which again, I'm not really a fan of, especially with their new Exynos chip not doing too well on the S22 Ultra. Not really a fan. Here's the conversation that I kind of want to have with you guys, because this is the kind of situation I think we're all in, right? We've gotten to a point where over the past few years, smartphones have gotten really, really good, almost to the point where you don't even have to upgrade every year. You can upgrade every 2-3 years. Some people hold on to their phones. There's people that I know that are still holding on to their Pixel 2s that have commented in here that have said, hey, I had to give up Pixel 2 because I broke it or something dog chewed it up or anything like that. So the question that you have to ask yourself is, what is an appropriate mid-range price and what specs are you expecting with it? Because here's the thing, this is $449. You pay a little bit less, $429, and you have an iPhone SE, which I can already tell you right now, just on paper, better specs in regards to the CPU. It's gonna have better performance, for sure, hands down. Battery life is, even though this has a bigger battery life than what the SE would have, we don't know if this is going to be better battery life or whatnot. Or right now on sale at Best Buy, you can get the Pixel 6 for $549, and that's only a couple dollars in either direction. So you kind of have to start to ask yourself, why is Samsung launching this phone, and why at this price point? Why not cheaper? Why not at $349? Well, they have an A53 that's launching that's at that price point, so maybe that's why. But the thing is, you're not getting very much bang for your buck, in my opinion, with this phone. Now, granted, this is just on paper. I don't have the phone yet. Although it's running an Exynos 1200, it is an octa-core processor, so maybe their mid-range, chips are better than their high-end chips, which I don't know how that would even make sense, but maybe that's the case. But then you can also kind of do something even crazier, because I'm putting myself in a situation where who would buy this phone? If I needed to buy a phone around this price range, what would I do? Would I get this phone? Or the other option that we have is you go all the way down and you get the OnePlus, which has a MediaTek chip, the Nord, right? It has a MediaTek chip and it has better software configuration. Or you can even do something that I would do in this scenario, is I would go back a few years and maybe try and cop a S20 Ultra for around this price. For $450, you could probably find one on Swappa for around that price if you're open to haggling and looking for a really good deal. That, or you can go back and look for a Note 20 Ultra. So all of these things start to pop up, and the thing is, Note 20 Ultra, S20 Ultra, yes, they're going to be used devices, but they're going to be better devices than this right here. I can already tell you that right away. Pixel 6, in my opinion, is a better device, and the iPhone SE might be better. It's better performance-wise for sure. The chip is going to be better. It's a faster chip than the Exynos chip. I think we can all agree the A15 Bionic is light years ahead of like most competition. But the question is, what demographic, what population, who wants this phone, right? And what is going to make people want to buy this phone? There's really only two things. Number one, it's going to be available at a carrier to finance, which some of these other phones that we're talking about are too. And number two, people are gonna want a Samsung experience, and our Samsung they're Samsung only people that look at only Samsung phones. And I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people that want the S22, want the S21, but don't have that money, but want a similar experience. That is my opinion. That, in my opinion, is the only demographic of people that you're going after. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I think the price $449 for this phone, I don't know. I don't agree with it just because of the things that I just chatted with you about. But I can't wait for other companies like the Xiaomi phones, all of these other companies that are going to be coming, that have all these smartphones. I can't wait for them to come into the domestic platform and come into the carrier platform so that we can start to use those phones. Are those phones great? Yes, but there's two big problems with those phones, whether it be the Redmis, the Xiaomis, all those phones. They're great phones, great specs, great performance, but the problem is this. There's two things. You can't finance it, which is what most people, at least when I was when I worked at T-Mobile, that's what most people wanted. They wanted something they can throw on their bill for $10, $20, $30. And number two is a lot of the times the SIM compatibility is just not 100% what you would get with a domestic phone. And what I mean by domestic is phones that a traditional carrier would have in your area. In this area, unfortunately, we don't have some of the other Chinese phones that are available, which I think would bump up the competition and force Samsung to make better devices. And yeah, so I guess I don't know. I wanted to rant about that for a quick second. The other thing that really sucks is OnePlus Nord, the OnePlus Nord, the OnePlus 3 Nord, however the heck you want to say it, or the Nord 3, just got leaked today, and it's supposed to have super fast charging. So it's supposed to have OnePlus Warp charging. Like, you're talking about a phone that's like $100, $150 probably cheaper than this A30 or A53, and it has better charging specs. It's gonna have probably better performance, better longevity. Like, I just think these things are things that we need to start to pressure these companies to make better, you know? I think Samsung can do better, at least in the charging department. Now, whether or not you can make your smartphones last longer, that's subjective, because I get it. You know, we get a lot more specs, a lot more things that our phones can do. But I think we are past the point of 25-watt charging. And I think we got to retire the Exynos brand and just go with the better processor. But that's my take. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. That's what was exciting for me today in the news today. But with that being said, we will catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be unboxing the Emerald iPhone. You can call it Alpine Green. I call it Emerald because that's what it kind of looks like in pictures. I guess we'll see tomorrow for sure what color it is. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And let me know in your guys' in the comments down below what you guys think. What's appropriate for a price range for mid-range smartphone, and what type of performance or what types of things are you expecting from these phones? Let's chat about it, guys. All right, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.